Hi there, this is Marie and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm telling you a bit more about how it is to be a multipotentialite and an entrepreneur. When I created my company, I didn't know back then that I was a multipotentialite, but well, now that I know, everything just makes sense. If you don't know what a multipotentialite is, I recommend you to check out my video on what is a multipotentialite. And we'll move on directly onto how it is to be an entrepreneur while being a multipotentialite. The first problem I encountered as I was thinking about creating my own company was that it was very difficult for me to choose what kind of activities I would start, whether I would focus on my own country or the international market. There were just a lot of choices that needed to be made, and I just felt like it was so much. I also had this impression that it wouldn't be easy to change afterwards, so I really needed to make the good choices right now. Now that we are a few months later, I can tell you it's okay, you can change. And you probably should anyway. When you're an entrepreneur, being able to think out of the box and being able to rethink every choice that you've made so far is a good asset actually. Because that's how you're going to improve, that's how you're going to do better for your business. So I struggled with selecting the services that I wanted to provide because I didn't want to stick to one single service. I also struggled with choosing whether I would focus on my home market in France or if I would focus on international market. And what is amazing about entrepreneurship is that you can just try it all out, see if it works. If it doesn't, you can just change it. I started with the French market and 3 different services: recruitment, translation, and proofreading, plus my author activities. Because back then I was like, yeah, I want to do this, but it didn't feel like a part of my company yet. Like I was taking my writing seriously, but maybe not 100%. And now it's been 5 months. I created my company in November 2020. And now I switched to the international market. So I switched all my website and content and everything from French to English. And I'm now a career coach, translator, and author. So I'm slowly finding, the right combination for me, the right combo that would work, with my life, with the fact that I'm a multipotentialite and I need a lot of things to feel satisfied about what I'm doing. But we're getting there. So if I had one single recommendation to people who are just starting their business or thinking about starting it is, don't worry about changes. You're going to make changes, you're going to make mistakes, and that's how you learn. It's not going to be the end of the world, you're just going to improve. Also, another challenge that I've faced as a multipotentialite and entrepreneur is that it's too easy for me to get distracted with other things that sounds interesting. As an entrepreneur, you already have so many on your plate that you need to work on. You have all your marketing and communication on top of your regular service. And being an author on the side, then I have a lot of hours dedicated to writing, editing, brainstorming, existential crisis, stuff like that. And so I've discovered that I was very happy in this very stimulating environment where I could do lots of stuff. And I wouldn't call it a problem, but a risk in this kind of lifestyle is that because I'm already stimulated and happy with that and happy to learn new things, then there's no end to what I want to learn. Like when I see something, I'm like, oh, I'm going to read this article and then I'm going to research a bit more about that. Why? Because it's interesting. And as an entrepreneur, you have to focus on your activities first. Like, it's great to learn about new things, but you can't wander through internet for hours, when you're supposed to be doing something else for your company. So I think this is the second biggest challenge in my life as an entrepreneur, and I'm working on structuring this. Now I'm better at this. Like, instead of opening right away articles and reading through it, I just save it somewhere, or I send myself emails with like lists of links to articles and stuff like that, which sounds interesting. And I go through them during the weekend, for example, and you can find your own way of structuring this. But I found that just putting all the links aside and gathering them in an email that I send to myself for later is a good way to keep all the interesting things somewhere, and I can just check it out later when I'm not working for my company. One of the great things, though, when you're a multi-potentialite and an entrepreneur is that you're going to have so much creativity, and your mindset is going to be amazing for an entrepreneur. Multi-potentialites are super curious about everything, and they are ready to learn all the time. And this is something that is so great when you're an entrepreneur because, well, you're going to do most things alone for your company, and you will have to learn new skills all the time. You will have to know what's going on in your industry, keeping yourself updated. I do think that most entrepreneurs are multi-potentialites. Most of them don't know about this, like so many people don't know about the term multi-potentialite. But I do believe that most entrepreneurs are multi-potentialites, because when you're able to do so many things and you become a kind of expert in so many different areas to make your business work, well, I think you can relate to what being a multi-potentialite is. As a career coach, it's always very interesting for me to see how a multi-potentialite can develop their full potential. So don't be afraid to try out things. And if you're interested in starting your own business, well, don't listen to people who are telling you it's not the right time. If you think like this, it's never going to be the right time, right? Thank you so much for watching this video. As always, you will also get a developed article on the topic on my blog on Wednesday. So in the meantime, feel free to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I wish you all a lovely weekend, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye!